Welcome to BBC News Report
from St. Mark's Academy.
Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Abana Enthesis Lucas. Welcome to BBC News School Report 2014. The main stories of the day are Able, Gifted and Talented Provision at St. Mark's Academy, Enrichment Offering 2014.
Also in the news, changes in the behavior policy at St. Mark's Academy, new 2014 GCSE options, news from the PE department, the World Book Day celebrations, sports news, and the weather forecast. Stay with us.
St. Mark's Academy is committed to providing a sufficiently challenging curriculum for all its students. Those who are more able are identified and provided with opportunities to nurture them in the most effective way. Over to Yulia and Nicole to tell us more about the way these students are selected and challenged.
Hello everyone. Able, gifted and talented are terms that refer to students who achieve above average or significantly above average in practical skills such as sport or leadership. At St. Mark's Academy this year, these terms refer to the top 10% of the academic population in academic subjects. Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, most able students are identified in all academic subjects.
Each student who is identified and included on the Gifted and Talented Register will be informed and supported throughout their time at St. Mark's. Able, gifted and talented students are identified by a variety of means and their names added to a regularly updated register to which all our staff have access to.
Our guest today is the AGNT coordinator, Mrs. M1. Hello, Mrs. M1.
Hello, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, how are able, gifted and talented students identified?
Well, when our New Year 7 do come to St. Mark's, we have no data on them, we have no information, so we try to refer to anything that the GNT coordinator in primary school do give us, and also information from parents, because they might come to school and say, my kid is GNT, and then we now follow up by speaking to the students, speaking to the teachers, asking teachers to complete AGNT identification forms that will help us to also know exactly what makes them to be GNT. And we do try to really develop a kind of like a personal relationship with the student to know them better and to make sure that they're actually able and gifted in order to be on the GNT register. But very often parents might also send us some form that I do give them to complete where they tell us if their kids are gifted outside school, where they might be very good in sports, in art or in music, and that also helps us to know exactly who they are.
Mrs. M1, how are these students supported?
After we actually put in place a GNT register, we now speak to different departments and ask them to put in place activities, and it can be in school or out school, and it's very important to have those provisions in place to help the student to be challenged, to be motivated, and to work to the best of their abilities. So for example, it can be in class where teachers have extension work or differentiating activities where the students are doing more independent learning. It can be again in school or out school. Homework, for example, can be more challenging than the normal homework that someone of their age would do. For example, out school activities can be going to universities. For example, last year I took some year 9s and some year 10 to Oxford University to see how they can actually aspire to go to all these best universities in the UK. If the students are gifted in music or in art, they can be going to maybe the art museums and science museum if they are gifted in science. So we do really try as much as we can to put in place a lot of different activity to challenge them and also inspire them.
Why do you think it is important to support able, gifted and talented students at St. Mark's Academy?
Well, I think it's important to support them because they are also unique individuals who have different needs, and just like EAL student or SCN student, they do need to, those needs need to be identified, and we need to put things in place to try to get them to work to the best of their abilities. And it's important to have those in place because they might end up underachieving, or they might end up get bored in lessons, and they might end up falling behind because we do not have anything in place. So it's really, really important to just identify them and just treat them as unique individuals. And yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Samuel, for speaking to us today.
Thank you very much.
Back to the studio.
At St. Mark's Academy, our intention is to make our students benefit the most out of what is on offer in different subject areas. We believe it is important that our students have access to a wide range of enrichment opportunities, as this will assist them with excelling beyond the classroom. Yasmina and Isaiah, will you tell us more about an enrichment offer this year?
This year, St. Mark's Academy has an extremely wide range of various after-school activities. The Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 students can participate in different types of activities, such as taekwondo, sociology, basketball, geography, and art. Volunteering opportunities in the community have been added this year as we seek to extend our values in action focused beyond the academy. Also, there will be opportunities for students to support each other through peer reading or peer mentoring. It could also include sport or musical activities.
There is also an opportunity for student leadership. The students can run their own society in the same way as they are run at university. So association will be a departing society, the film club and the book club, where you also come up with your own ideas. A formal accreditation for student leadership is possible.
It is recommended to choose at least one activity per week. Participation in enrichment activities can not only improve your skills, but also enhance your college UCAS application, as well as develop your confidence and self-esteem.
What qualities do you think a person should have to join your club?
To join the Taekwondo club, there are quite a few attributes that you need to join. One of them is actually being quite patient. A lot of people think that you have to be fighting immediately, but it's not about that. The 5 tenets of Taekwondo are courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control and abdominal spirit. So self-control being one of the main key aspects of, I think, any martial art. So it's not about fighting necessarily, it's also about being patient, standing still and following orders and instructions, just like at school.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Abby and Lucas, back to you.
Okay, and return. That's it. You got this. Oh. Yo. Johanna.
An academic year 2013-2014 has brought some significant changes in the way the school behavior policy operates at St. Mark's Academy. What does this mean to the students? Danielle and Michaela will tell us more about it.
Yes, Lucas. The students at St. Mark's Academy face a few new challenges. First of all, each student codes behavior points, positive for effort and hard work and negative for showing inappropriate behavior. The points are recorded on the school system called SIMS. When you reach 15 positives, you receive a £5 voucher. Many students in our school are £5 richer now. Also receive a postcard for being an exemplary student.
On the contrary, there are some sanctions for incorrect behavior. A negative point can be issued for lack of equipment, planner, talking out of turn, or being rude to others. If you receive a negative point, this means you have a 15-minute detention with your teacher. If you fail to come to a detention, then a 90-minute SLT detention happens for you on Fridays after school.
Another rule that the students are expected to follow this is a no-show policy. It relates to mobile phones. The students can bring their mobiles to school, but they must not use them in lesson or around the school. If they do not obey this rule, their phone is confiscated. It creates problem for the parents that they are asked to come to school to collect the mobile.
Also, the students are not allowed to wear their coats in the building. Strict rules apply to the uniform too. All the pupils are asked to do their top buttons on the shirt to look smart and tidy.
I'm sure that all the students find it easy to comply with these rules. Abena, Lucas, back to you.
March is always a very busy time, as Year 9 are required to make important choices, GCSE options. To do so, they may do some previous research and ask former Year 9s how their subject differs from a year before. Inga, have you found out about new 2014 GCSE options?
The options that Year students select are important for a variety of reasons. The subject chosen will be studied by them in Key Stage 4. They have to think carefully in which subject they can be successful before they choose their options. Also, it's vital to choose those areas that they find enjoyable as well as useful for their future career. This school year, the list of options has changed a bit. Now we can choose only 3 options instead of 4. Why did it change and what does it mean for students? The best person to answer this question is Mr. Moran. Hello, Mr. Moran.
Hello, Inga.
Why has the number of options decreased this year?
What we've decided to do this year in light of the new government initiatives is to give students a better chance of achieving at least 10 good GCSEs. Students have the opportunity to get 2 GCSEs in English, 2 GCSEs in Maths, 2 in Science, 1 in RE, and then 3 of their own choosing. And we think that gives them a much better opportunity to do incredibly well.
In what ways can this change influence the students and their future?
It's very important that students, when they're making their GCSE choices, their options choices, that they keep them as open as possible. What happens as a student goes through from primary to secondary and then through phases at secondary school is that they have to make choices that will influence them in order for their chosen career. If you work backwards from university, a student will study 1 subject or maybe 2 subjects at university. At A level they might study 4 or 5, at GCSE they might study 10, and it's about making sure students keep those options as open as possible so that they don't close any doors for themselves and are able to then move on to the next stage in their education.
Thank you, Mr. Moore, for talking to us today.
It's a pleasure.
Abena, Lucas, back to you.
Thank you, Inga. Let's see what's in the newspapers this week. The Yesterday's Guardian talks about David Cameron and declared offering up to £2,000 per child to support the middle-class working parents. From today, 2 million families that have children up to the age of 12 will be offered up to £2,000 per Eurostate help towards the cost of care. That will be quite a big injection of money for these parents.
Today, in The Independent, I found an interesting article about London exhibition introducing new wearable technology. It is very interesting as it gives examples of clothing or gadgets, either reading your muscle movement or gadgets telling you whether you've been in the sun too much. Also, there is a wristband that counts how many steps a day you take, whether you reach your target you set to yourself. I'm thinking, it would be great to have an application where students could get a learning target. For example, counting how many new words they've learned a week. Wouldn't it, Abena?
Yes, you're right. It will be adorable. Every year, the PE department at St. Mark's Academy enthuses the students with various activities. The students keen on doing physical exercises have a selection of activities or projects to improve their skills or accomplish their interests. What is new in the PE department this year, Enoch?
Yes, Abena. In the PE department, there are a few activities introduced to the students. The 7 and 9 pupils are taking part in table tennis sessions during curriculum time. Here, sports leaders have been delivering sports sessions in local primary schools in order to help the students improve their skill that could be used in their PE lesson later. Year 7 and Year 9 pupils are also being taught handball for the first time, and we have a coach running handball club every Monday after school. The handball session provides a lot of enjoyment and engagement. The students are enthusiastic to learn new skills. For the BBC News School Report 2014 Enoch.
Thank you, Enoch. It has been 17 years since the first World Book Day was celebrated. It was the biggest of its kind, designated by UNESCO as a worldwide celebration of books and reading, and marked in over 100 countries all over the world. Paulina will reveal some more details about how St. Mark's is promoting reading.
On the 6th of March 2014, the World Book Day is celebrated. It is a celebration of all first illustrators, books, and most importantly, is a celebration of reading. On that day, children of all ages will come together to appreciate reading. The main aim of the World Book Day in the UK is to encourage children to explore the pleasures of books and reading. It can be achieved in different ways, from offering children a book of their own or giving them tokens to exchange into books in a bookstore. At St. Mark's Academy, this year each department has been asked to select a book and come in dressed as a character from the book. There will be a prize for the best costume. Also, during the course of the week, the teachers in the subject areas are requested to talk to the students about either their favorite book or any relevant subject, specific books that will be worth reading. Moreover, it has been recommended to keep Thursday, the 6th of March, an open day. I'm sure the students will love this idea the most. I checked what book characters the teachers in the academy have chosen and why.
I have chosen Captain Hook from the story of Peter Pan because I really enjoy pirate stories and I particularly enjoy dressing up as a pirate.
Hello, I came as the character as Wanda. I chose this character because this book is very popular in my library.
Hello, the character I've decided to come dressed as today is Little Red Riding Hood. I've decided to come as Little Red Riding Hood because I do really admire her. As her title suggests, she was little, and despite that she had characteristics that I really admire and I think that young people can learn from today. She was very courageous and she really went out of her way to be successful despite the odds against the wolf. And I do believe that she's a real character for all of us to look up to because of her courage and her self-confidence.
Well, I've chosen to be Ron Weasley because I think Harry Potter is one of the most great series of books written, and I love the films as well. And J.K. Rowling is a really talented author, so I want to try and get our students reading Harry Potter.
I am Malfoy from the book Harry Potter. I chose this character because I like the book Harry Potter, I enjoyed reading it, and it also means that I get to have a duel with my wand against Mr. Kilford, which is fun because he's acting as Harry Potter.
So I am the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, and I chose this character because everyone in our English department was a character from Alice in Wonderland.
And I'm the Dormouse from Alice in Wonderland, and I've got my teapot in another room because the English department are all characters from Alice in Wonderland.
I chose Queen of Hearts because the English department decided to do Alice in Wonderland, and she's the most important character and the most dramatic, and I like being dramatic and dressing up.
I'm the fairy godmother today because we have a Prince Charming in the team and he needs some protecting from all the ladies.
Okay, for my costume, I have chosen to be one of the three little pigs. Unfortunately, the other two didn't make it with Mr. Wolf. I chose this costume because it was one of my favorite books as a child.
I chose to be Prince Charming today. The reason I've chosen Prince Charming, he's from one of my favourite fairy tales of Sleeping Beauty.
Well, I decided to choose two characters. One of the characters I've chosen is Anansi. It's an old African story that has been oozed around the Caribbeans and so forth. And my other character is the little drummer boy. But the problem is, I seem to have lost my drum. So I need to collect my drum.
I'm the monkey from the Jungle Book because it was my favourite book as I was a child, and I love adventures.
Thank you very much, Miss.
Thank you, Paulina.
Back to the studio.
Thank you, Paulina. What's new in the world of sports? Saeed, what are the highlights and are there any St. Mark's victories in football?
Good morning. The Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia have concluded. The medal leaders, Russia scooped 33 medals while Team GB only managed 4. 45 countries from around the world also competed between March the 8th and March the 16th. This was the Paralympics game were staged for disabled athletes. And now, some news from the UK. A historic clash between the Arsenal and the Chelsea teams took place on Saturday, the 22nd March at 12:45 at the Emirates Stadium. It was a game never to be missed. There was also a cricket match on the 21st March, India versus Pakistan at Dhaka Stadium. At St. Mark's Academy, one of our PE teachers, Miss Hooker, will take part in 2014 marathon organized on the 6th April. The aim is to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. Miss Hooker's ambition is to raise £1,000. We hope she manages it. In football, St. Mark's Academy Year 9 student will be facing Grand Spot. The game is coming soon. Also, our Year 8 students have beaten Harris Academy footballers 10-0. Well done, us. Last week, a group of selected Year 7 to 9 students went on a trip to Waldorf. They could obviously ride bikes and enjoy the experience of visiting the 2012 Olympics Park. That's all from me. Back to you, Abena and Lucas.
Now let's check what's on the forecast for the United Kingdom for the next few days. Arish, will you have any good news for us today?
Very good morning to you. I'm afraid that the weather forecast does not look exciting for the next few days. The weather across the UK is quite windy, but many places are largely dry with some sunny spells. Also, there's rain in the south in Scotland and in the northern England. It is becoming wet overnight from the west. Through the next week, it will remain unsettled in the northern parts with further rain and shower. It will be mainly dry but fairly cloudy towards the south. During the middle part of the week, the rain may spread southwards before turning windy again later. The current conditions suggest a more unsettled pattern across the United Kingdom. Temperatures are very likely to be around average, which may lead to more frequent touch of frost compared to recent weeks. That's all about the weather. Now, back to the studio.
This is all the news we have prepared for you today.
Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.